Well, hello, my fellow car modelers. How are you doing? I just found something in my stash. An old one. It's crazy how I don't remember. But it's a kind of a... Well, we're going to take a look at this. But this is not going to be so much a checking out this kit, because it's a built up, and we'll look at it. But the fact of what it is, which is very rare for us to come by, is, you know, a 72 to 74 Challenger. But I want to do a little bit of bench racing. Yeah. And I have this oldie right here that I want to just kind of see if they'll work together.
Man, this video is going to be so jam-packed with stuff, I don't even know where to start.
Wait, what?
Okay, so first we're going to take a look at this kit right here. The Color Me Gone. It says it's got a painted body. I don't recall it being that way, but we'll look at it. It's a funny car, but this was back, way in the 70s, when they would take just a stock body and put it on a funny car chassis and call it a funny car. But pretty much this kit, which I'm really glad I have it, is the fact that the body is pretty much all stock dimensions. See, they would just have kind of a shortened funny car, and they would drop their annual bodies on. That's pretty much how MPC worked back way in the early 70s.
What the heck?
So let's take a look at this thing. Kind of interesting. I guess it was a pre-painted body, I don't know. But it was a built up. It's pretty well all there. But you can see it's just a stock dimensioned Challenger, which it's got everything I need. So I've been wanting to, and it's probably why I got this and forgot about it. And here we can look at the basic. It's pretty cool, useful. I could probably repurpose this funny car chassis. It's so short, might be really cool to make an altered out of that. That's a good thing. I'll think about that. Let's pop this whole thing off here. They don't seem to want to separate. And look at that. Double drag chutes. Remember those? Let's put that down. As far as anything else in this kit, I mean, it's some empty trees. We've got cool Hildebrands there, and it's all good stuff. Everything's there to actually, you know, you could restore this kit if you wanted to. But I wanted a 72, 74 Challenger body in the worst way, and I think that's probably why I picked this up. Figure, well, got one, but we can look. There's all the funny car interior, but you could pretty much get yourself rolling and have yourself a stock Challenger. But if I was to build this, and more than likely what I wanted one of these for is I wanted to do Dick Landy's car. I've always wanted to do his Pro Stock. By the time he was running this car, Pro Stock was like backed half cars, big, huge tires, huge tubs in the back. I'm going to leave the glass in there because it's really glued in there. I got to work that out and figure out what to do about glass, but that's pretty cool. So this is where this Barracuda kit comes into play, because this kind of came from the old MPC Pro Stock series early on, and this kit's genealogy is pretty much started from the Mottown missile. So let's take a quick look at this. This is kind of an untouched kit, and I did a full Lucas kits with this kit years ago. You want to watch it, I'll put it at the end of this video if you want to go watch that, because I'm not going to Lucas kits this. And it's kind of basic, and you know, they kind of had this flat thing where you see in that one video, there's like the rear end is just up the bottom half of the rear end, and it glues right onto there. But it's still good. I love the tubs in that. They fit real good in the body. I just love this kit. It's always been a cool kit. The interior is total race car interior, you know. And this could be a great donor for me. I have a few of these. Maybe I would use this chassis, and you know, I could always use that for something else later. But I can use the chassis for and the interior. Let's get this interior out. and use that for that Challenger body. Let's just see if that stuff all fits. You're watching the Luka C channel on YouTube. Okay, so we got what we need here to do our little mocking up. I got one of the tires here. Actually, I have another one. Just grab some wheels to throw in there just to get the look. Found a front tire, not exactly the front runner I would use, but it'll give us the look. Let's see if this stuff fits. First, I'm going to take this interior and see how that interior will work in this body. And it seems like it does really well. Look at how it's a little bit of a gap, but look at how the door panels totally follow the same lines, because they're, you know, the Plymouth and the Dodge, they were both similar E-body cars. And there we go with the chassis, and it looks like it would fit. The rear end, we should probably find the rear end and see if it would all line up. It looks like the front wheels would line up perfectly fine. Look at that. And if the back tires line up, which they seem to, there we would have ourselves a Pro Stock Challenger. Oh yeah. And you gotta love those big fat tires in the back of these cars. Can we get a good look? Hopefully the camera's picking that up. So I got the rear end right there. I'll clip this off. And let's mock it up and see how. I know, but there's so many other great chassis to go with, but me, you know, I do love these old chassis. They're simple, but you can make them look really nice, and this is like ready-made for this body. I've bought quite a few of these old Barracuda Pro Streets simply because to do this kind of stuff, you know, I do like this chassis. It doesn't bother me that it's a little simplified. Sometimes simplification is well, it's a good thing. And quite honestly, when you get it all done and do a little bit of work to it, you actually end up having a really, really nice model when you're done. I'm going to show you another project I'm working on that I use this kit. So there we go, and we can see it looks like everything lines up perfect. So we would be able to have the wheelbase is exactly like the Barracuda wheelbase. I'm trying to angle this so that doesn't happen, and we can get a good camera angle on this. There we go. And that is pretty much the stance it would have. Oh yeah. I could totally, I might even go with a bigger slick, because you can fit a lot of slick under here. But these old MPC slicks, I love them. They're some of my favorite. And I think we can get a really good, yeah, you get them out a little farther and it'll come down a little bit more. Because that Dick Landy car, I mean, you gotta get that stance and that look right. You have to. That's the thing that I love about that Landy car. That tire, I actually probably would try to find a little bit bigger slick to use. But I don't have one here right now. I just got a ton of these. And I do love those slicks. They're great. But yeah, I mean, look at this Landy car. You got to get that look. But it looks like all this would fit. This would be a really good combination. And I know, guys, yes, I'm dealing with some old stuff. I'm playing on my bench, and I just thought I'd bring you in with what I have. I know these kits are hard to get a hold of. This kit has gotten extremely valuable, and I bought them back when they weren't. What can I say? I am really digging this. I am so happy to have this. I just love that Challenger. And more than likely, this will end up becoming that Dick Landy car. I'll probably have to grind, because that doesn't look like that was glued on. These were glued on, but I think that's a part of the body. So I might have to do some body work. I don't know. If I can get that off, who knows? We'll play around with it and make that nice. Get rid of all that, but just get rid of all the funny carness of it, so it ain't so funny. but that's the Color Me Gone funny car. And I got one of these. This is pretty cool. I don't know, you know, how easy it is to get a hold of that year of Challenger. And I would like to throw out a little shout out. I'm dedicating this video to a good buddy of mine. That's old Tim Brown over at the Throttle Power. Go check his channel out. There'll be a link to his channel at the end of this video. He's kind of the inspiration. He's been on me to make these mock-up videos. He says, you do so good with those. Start doing those. People love them.
That's my bonus footage.
Well, you know, tell me down in the comments if you agree with Tim, and I will do more of these. I've done them over the years. I like just, you know, bench racing here with you guys. Get a model kit out, got an idea, shove tires underneath to see how it looks. That's always a fun thing. That's a part of the fun of model cars, and we do that. So real quick before we end this video, I do want to show you guys something. So let me clear the bench here, and I got a little project that was one of these kits that I want to show you, and I'll probably be showing you a couple things here. But thanks, Tim, for the inspiration. Here you go. And also another thing, I just know that this 72 to 74 Challenger is a very special car to my buddy Tim Brown. It's a very special body. Very special car. So I did this video for him. So leave me alone, Tim. Just stop calling me. Please. Please. Damn! So let me clear this all off, and then we're going to take a look at a really cool project that is an old project that kind of stalled out. So we're kind of doing a Luka's kits, Luka's bench racing, Luka's unbuilds, all in one. Why not? But I got to show you this, and it's kind of connected to another good buddy of mine. Okay, so I was building the Mottown missile, which is that kit evolved from that we just showed you, that Barracuda kit. And I happen to have, actually had a different issue, and it kind of combined. I got like parts and stuff, but this yellow one here was a different run of that same car, and same interior, but it's all yellow. And let's show you, I had this going where I was building a Mottown missile, and we've got engine there. Let's see, what else do we have in this box? Oh yeah, well, tire, some resin cast wheels I made years ago, and I got them gold for that car. But I need to get back on this project on account of my buddy Mark Anderson. I kind of helped him scrounge up all the parts he needed, the kits he needed. I donated a hood to him, that hood that comes in this kit right there. That's one of the really well-known ones that they used, and Don Carlton ran on the Mottown missile. He just finished his, and let me show you this. This model just turned out beautiful. And he got a hold of the old Snap kit that came out back in the 90s. I used to buy them for my daughter, and I have a few of them. That had the hood molded in, so he had to cut the hood out. Of course, it just had flat hood, and that wouldn't have been right. So I gave him one of my hoods. I bought up a ton of parts cars over the years of this particular car. He took the chassis out of what we all call the Yankee Challenger, but it's been put out several times, that Challenger kit. Beautiful, pretty well detailed Mopar chassis under there. So that's what he went with. There's that well-known, very distinctive, big old ugly hood scoop that sometimes the Mopar missile would run. But I had, this is that chassis. See, very basic, but I had this thing rolling, and let's pop them. Kind of opposite here, aren't we? Let's see if I can get you a good mock-up of this going. And I was actually using much bigger tires in this one. And you see that tire right there is kind of finished. But these are these old, that was actually someone on my Facebook group that posted a picture of these tires and go, how the heck should I glue them together? Because the insert, you know, kind of goes in there, and you got to glue it together. And that's a way of, you know, a lot of sanding. And I took the Goodyears. I think there was Goodyears on it. I don't know. No, there might not have been letters. I sanded it down and dull coated it and made it good. And this one I haven't done anything to. But look at that. And it just, now those are the tires that will work out really nice for that Dick Landy car. Look at how they fit in those tubs. And very simple. Simple, but you know, right paintwork and all that. And you know, what the heck, man? How many people actually look at the underside of your model, especially if you take it to a show, you know, unless you want to show it and put it up on a stand with a mirror under it. That's good enough. This is happy for me for doing a Mopar missile. And you know, I smoothed out the inner fender wells and painted them gold, like the real car kind of had gold ones going on. That's just a simple version of it. If you guys ever thought about getting this kit, if you find a good deal on it and you wondered and you think, it's so basic underneath, and nah, man, think about this. This was early 70s when this kit was tooled up, and I think they did a really bang out job. Probably one of the early tubbed chassis that they put out in model kit form, and it really builds into an absolute beautiful car. So there we go. We did a little bench racing. We did a little Luka's unbuilds. We did a little bit of Luka's kits. Oh, let me show you real quick. Now this, I'm not sure. This is a hodgepodge. I think this is the kit from this kit. This is the engine and transmission out of that kit. And I always loved those Hemi valve covers that came out of that kit. It just had the crinkle look, and you paint them black, they always look good. And you familiar, as you can tell from that color, if any of you, I love that Pro Stock Hemi intake. One of the best looking ones and accurate. That came out of the Johann Saxon Martin Cuda. And that's what I used on this. But I thought I'd go transmission, not sure where it's from. I see some green there, so I don't know what the heck that came from, but I can tell I sawed it off by that right there. And this is the stock Hemi block that came from this kit. So there we go. Quick look. Basic. Do a little bit of detailing to this, a little bit of wiring, make it look cool, and that's going to be fun. I got to get back on this one of these wonderful days. Heck yeah. Cool kit. If you ever get a chance to get this one, I highly recommend it. It just builds into such a neat little Barracuda. Not a lot of people like the 72 to 74 Cudas and Challengers. I personally like them better. Everybody likes the 70 and 71. Yeah, they're awesome. I love them. But I gotta say, man, the basically post muscle car era, when they were still using up for a couple more years, that body style, I like them. I always like this one because I love those round taillights in the back. And then, of course, so happy that I got one of these Challengers. I just like the looks of that. I like that grill. It's just a cool look. It's different. So this may become that Dick Landy car, or it may become something else. Who knows? Or it might just sit in my collection until my collection goes to somebody else. One never knows. Whatever, I enjoy it. Cool box art. It looks really cool on my shelves. So that's it for this video. Again, my two shout outs. Mark Anderson for his beautiful Mottown missile. I'm so honored and happy to help a friend out. He's been really generous to me and has hooked me up with a lot of cool stuff. So I'm glad to have helped him out with that. And of course, Tim Brown from Throttle Power.
See you on the next video on Throttle Power.
You know what I'm talking about, Tim. You know what I'm talking about. That Challenger. Get her done, brother. Get her done. All right, everybody. So, I don't know. Why is it that we love to pull out our model cars and just shove tires underneath? Maybe we'll build them, maybe we won't. Well, that's easy because it's fun, right? Here's the producers.